This week on the internet, the search will talk about all the topics missed during the week. And first up, we have the Fortnite Cybertruck. And this thing is hated. No one likes it. And that includes real life, especially real life. No one likes this thing. I see these in person and I literally shake my head. They look so dumb. And on top of that, water kills them. So it is no surprise that people don't like this thing in the game, especially since the advertising shows it being really cool when it's just not. So unsurprisingly, a lot of people are shooting this thing on sight, which I am all for. If you see a Cybertruck in Fortnite, stop what you're doing, stop fighting, and kill it. Destroy the Cybertruck. Like, even a Fortnite dev hates this thing. And they put it in the game. And next up, we have a funny story involving Xbox again, because for some reason, they can't stop screwing up. Like, it's actually kind of insane. So last night, the 26th, Xbox Game Pass went down. And it's still down 15 hours later. I really don't know what Xbox is doing over there, because this is, one, a really bad look. And two, the FTC already is not happy with them. Their service going down for multiple hours at a time is not a good look. And this is not the first time. It's gone down like 3 times in the last, month. So I really don't know what's happening. Either Xbox is woefully unprepared for their own traffic volume, or they're being attacked by someone who's not happy with Xbox. Really, it could be either, like Xbox being incompetent or someone hating them enough to DDoS them. Like, it could be either one of those. All I know for sure is over the last couple months, Xbox has been a total joke. Everything they have done has been counterintuitive and just plain stupid. And never forget, guys, they told the FTC they would never have to raise the Game Pass prices. And they did. They blatantly lied to acquire Activision Blizzard, and now they're going back on their word. Xbox told the FTC they could keep the prices the same forever, and they should be forced to do that because that's what they agreed to. And next up, we have Twitter being really dumb. So do you guys know Grok? Grok is Twitter's like dumb AI chatbot that Elon Musk made that's just stupid. Well, this dumb AI chatbot needed data. So Elon Musk broke EU law by making a opt-out system for training Grok's data. And on top of that, you couldn't opt out on mobile, the place most people use Twitter. So I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of my data being used unwillingly to train a stupid AI, so I had turned it off. But overall, I think Grok is incredibly stupid and will go nowhere at all. Because really, if you're using Twitter data to train an AI, it is going to be the stupidest thing on the planet. It is not going to be a smart AI chatbot at all, and it's probably going to be incredibly, not user-friendly. The only thing I really see Grok doing is making Twitter broke, because all of these things are absurdly expensive to run. Like, they require an insane amount of GPU power to do anything. They are almost useless. And speaking of how useless AIs are, OpenAI might be broke within a year because they're running out of money. So they have $4 billion left, which sounds like a lot, I know. But as I said, these things are absurdly expensive to run and don't make any money. I mean, personally, I think OpenAI should just go bankrupt if they run out of money because they have not made a functioning product at all. ChatGPT hallucinates constantly. And really, all ChatGPT has done is made it really easy to make bot accounts and made a lot of people confident in things they shouldn't be confident in because the AI lied to them. Like, seriously, these chatbots are not ready for any kind of prime time at all. They lie way too much. There's a reason no company has introduced ChatGPT as a support bot. It is because it lies and you can trick it constantly. There was a guy who basically got a free car because he tricked AI into giving him a deal. And in the same vein of ChatGPT, we have SearchGPT, which is OpenAI's new ChatGPT search engine. So this thing is less useless than ChatGPT, but it's still kind of useless because it still lies to you and it still does so very confidently. All of these search tools are just way too finicky to actually trust using at all. And that is the main reason you would want to use an AI search engine, to get information that is trustworthy that you can't find on your own. Because yeah, in theory, having a machine skim through all the text and find the right answers is a good thing, but it can't do that. Like, trust me, guys, I wish this stuff was useful. There's a lot of topics I've researched where I found conflicting information, and it's hard to know which one is true, right? But it just doesn't work. Like, I would not trust this to find me accurate information. And if you did use this information in a paper or something, you would have to cite the source anyways. And just because SearchGPT found it doesn't mean the source is reliable at all. It just seems like this thing will mislead you more than it'll help you find information, especially since it can't use Reddit because Google has paid Reddit for a monopoly on Reddit search results. Now, I am not happy about this. This is not a good thing at all. Google is paying $60 million a year to Reddit, and this is bad because it basically just broke a barrier, which is a free and open internet that doesn't really exist anymore because Google just kind of made that the case. Yeah, I don't like the can of worms this opened up because now we have questions like, okay, what if Google decides that YouTube will only show up on Google search results? Or Amazon decides they only want to be on Google? Like, what happens if Google starts paying all these websites to only show up on there? That means that Google will have actually no competition. And that's bad because Google currently sucks. Google needs competition. Google needs somebody to come in and show them up. Because as of now, Google is basically useless. They need the competition to come in and make them fix their search engine by just being better. So them basically getting exclusive dibs on Reddit as of now is not great. Now, this decision is more in Reddit's hands than Google's, because Reddit was like, hey, we're tired of AI skimming our stuff. If you want access, you have to pay, and that's what Google is doing. So it's kind of Reddit's fault more than Google's, but Google still paid for it, which gives them a huge advantage right now, because if you've noticed, everyone looks at Reddit now for information because everything else is useless because of Google. So yeah, I'm not happy about this. Also, please like and subscribe down below. I'm trying to hit 400K. Thank you. I appreciate it. And next up, we have a video generator called Runways being trained on thousands of scraped YouTube videos. Now, this is interesting because number one, I am not included in this list, which is not that surprising, but a lot of YouTubers are in this list. And funnily enough, the list includes Nintendo, which is interesting because Nintendo's kind of known for suing people. So I'm kind of curious if they just let the AI run rampant and scrape people's content, or if they specifically pick channels to scrape people's content. And if they did, why did they pick Nintendo? Disney is also on this list. I don't know why you'd pick either of these companies. I really do feel like they're gonna sue. And if they don't sue, I'm even more curious because why not? Nintendo is so protective over their IPs. They wouldn't sue an AI video generator that's gonna produce Mario images? Really? That seems kind of weird if they're not suing over that. Maybe they don't want to be the first to do it because it is a kind of hard thing to win. But at the same time, they've also challenged game emulation in the US a lot, which is legal here. So I don't really know what they're doing. We'll wait and see. But with how many companies they've taken stuff from, they're probably gonna sue. I would imagine at least one of them would sue. And next up, we have YouTube being slowed down by 70% in Russia. Now, this story sucks if you're Russian. If you're like the one guy from Russia who watches my content, I'm sorry, this might be the last time you watch one of my videos, or anybody else for that matter, because Russia has slowed down YouTube by 70%. Russia is trying to throttle YouTube to get people to move over to their government websites because, you know, it's Russia. They want control over what people say because, you know, they're kind of a dictatorship a little bit. Putin is the equivalent of a toddler with anger issues. But yeah, they're gradually slowing down the speed of YouTube to get people to switch to their government website without just straight up closing it down. Because, you know, that looks a lot worse and people are also a lot more likely to get angry. So that sucks, and I am sorry if you're in Russia because that does not sound like a fun thing to deal with. The government in general, to be clear, not just YouTube. And next up, we have a funny story involving Call of Duty. So, you know how everyone in CoD complains about skill-based matchmaking? They're like, oh, I hate it. I hate skill-based matchmaking, all of that, right? Well, Activision did a test without informing players of the test happening. And they did the test on about 50% of the player base, so a very large sample pool. And they found that everyone not in the top 10% of players played significantly less in a 2-week time period. Now, if you were someone who used your brain, you would know this intuitively. If you're paired against people that suck and you're constantly winning, that's no fun. If you're paired against people that are way too good, that's also no fun. Now imagine every lobby has a player within wildly different skill brackets. The guy who's the worst is always going to hate playing the most, which is why the players have played more with the very top 10%. So yeah, skill-based matchmaking is a good thing, and it's going to stay around because it keeps you playing more. And now Activision has the actual proof of that. And on top of that too, they wrote like an entire research paper for this. Like it's 25 pages long, and it's a straight up research paper. It's kind of crazy. And next up, we have a short story involving Ubisoft. So you guys remember Star Wars Outlaws? I made a video on it saying it's trash. Now that video, which is about the 10 minutes of gameplay that was released on IGN, because that gameplay was rough, okay? And I just want to say that everyone agrees with me because their stock has tanked following that release. That's all. And next up, I want to talk about Marvel Rivals a little bit. So, Marvel Rivals is the gameplay you're watching right now. It is a fun hero-based shooter, and a lot of people say it's an Overwatch clone. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, it's not an Overwatch clone. It's like Overwatch, okay? But it's not an Overwatch clone. It plays a bit differently to Overwatch, and honestly, it's just better than Overwatch. I have more fun in it. Now, I will say I'm skeptical of the company who is making it. Before I played the game, I was saying it's horrible because the company that's making it is like not great. But unfortunately, the gameplay is actually kind of fun, which I hate, as you could probably tell. And honestly, I can't believe I'm defending it, but yeah, it's not Overwatch. It's not an Overwatch clone. If you haven't played it and you think that, I don't blame you. But if you have played it and you think that, yeah, you're kind of just wrong. Like, there are definitely some characters that feel like Overwatch clones, but overall, the gameplay feels pretty unique. And also, if you want an example of a clone game, you can look at Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 and/or the entire lineup of Call of Duty. But that's been the weekly recap. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter @spatnz1 and click the description down, check out more of my content, and have a good one.